So,
Okay.
yeah, perfect. We are live. Hi, everyone. This is Manan, and this is podcast 6 of this Corona conversation. And today, I have someone really interesting with me, and he's Mr. Ravi. He's in
Hello.
United States right now, and he's been to 186 countries so far. Frankly, I've
Yes.
not met any person, any Indian who has been to 186 countries, and I'm sure within the next 1 year, if this coronavirus thing goes down, he will be covering all the countries in the world, and that's a big achievement, especially for an Indian. So I thought to have a conversation with him, and where we talk how he came so far, what inspires him, and he's also a big fitness freak, and he's keeping
Uh,
up with like a really great shape. So that also one thing we'll touch upon how to maintain health, maintain those abs, shoulders, chest while traveling. So this is the whole point of the agenda. So and now I'll talk to Ravi and I'll ask him, Ravi, please tell us your story. What is your story? How did you start? Everything in detail, in Hindi or
uh,
English, or whichever
all
language.
right. So I'm originally from Vizag, Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh, and my mother tongue is Telugu. But I can speak 6 or 7 Indian languages and read and write them as well. But my
Wow.
Hindi is not so good because if I start
So,
speaking in Hindi, you can understand, but people will start laughing. So I'm
but
better off using.
why didn't you say hi, hello, or good morning, or whatever it is in all the 6, 7 different languages? That'll be interesting.
Man, that's hard, man. Like Shubhodayam in Sanskrit, right? Good. I don't even know my language. How you say good morning, you know? So anyway, so this is my story in a nutshell, right? I'm from Visakhapatnam, and I moved to the US quite a while ago, and then I am an American citizen now. But people may ask me and think, oh, you've been to all these countries because you're a US citizen. That is not
Mhm.
true. I've done
Mhm.
106 countries on an Indian passport,
Wow.
106, right?
Wow.
So by the time I got my American passport, it didn't help much because American passport helps you when you go to Europe, for example,
Yeah,
right? But
exactly.
I've already traveled to every country in Europe by then. So by the time I got my American passport, I was the only continents I've not been to are Africa and South America, and most
Yeah,
of them need visas even for American passports. So people
exactly.
in general say the first question is, "Oh, you have an American passport, that's why you travel so much." I said, "No, I've traveled on an Indian passport for 106. I'll show you
Okay.
my passports, like 10 passports now, right?
You have 10 passports right now.
10 passports total.
Wow.
I mean,
But
including
yeah.
Indian passports, right? So
But
I mean,
yeah, how did you shift from India to US, and what was that story? When did that happen?
this was I moved. It's quite a while ago, man. I came here to study, and then continued, then did my masters, and then worked on and so forth. So I've been
Yeah.
living here for 23 years now in the US.
23. How old are you, if you don't mind me
23.
asking your age?
Old enough, it doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So the important thing is, how do you keep your passion on, right? I mean, we live in a material world. We all understand that.
Yeah.
We all understand that, right? So everybody has goals, right? Like, let's say you have a small job, you want to be a manager. You're a manager, you want to be a senior manager. You want a senior manager, you want to be a director. So it's a never-ending saga. People always want to do something higher.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is that fine line as to where you draw it, right? For example,
Yeah.
I don't know, for lack of better words, I'll speak in monetary terms. If somebody has 1 lakh rupees, they want 10 lakhs. The person who
Yeah.
has 50 lakhs wants 1 crore. The one who has
Yeah.
50 crores wants 100 crores. So you
It
have
never
to you have
stops.
to you have to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought personally,
Hmm.
when I say I'm well off, I'm not well off like Tata or Birla or whatsoever. I'm
Hmm.
self-sufficient, right?
Hmm.
That's when I
Hmm.
decide, like, if I'm doing okay, what
Hmm.
do I do? Like, let's say I'm giving an example again. Let's say I have
Yeah.
5 houses.
Yeah.
What does the sixth house do to me? Nothing, right?
Nothing. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, but
Agreed.
but I'm not. But I don't want to change the conversation and tell people that, hey, don't have a solid base. I mean, don't start making 10 rupees and spend 9 rupees 50 paise on traveling, right? That's not a good
Exactly.
advice as well. You got to
Exactly.
have some kind of a solid
Backing. Yeah.
base,
Base.
right?
Yeah.
Solid
Yeah.
base doesn't mean you need to have 10 crores, right? Solid base means something where, like, let's say you don't have a job. Let's say
Yeah. You can sustain
you
yourself.
lose a, exactly, you lose a, like just the coronavirus, right? Let's say you
Yeah.
lose your job, you can't travel, you're sitting at home, and
Hmm.
everybody is in a crisis. Do you have enough
Hmm.
money to sustain yourself?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
most important
Exactly.
thing. So,
Exactly.
so I personally think if you can sustain yourself by yourself about
Hmm.
4 to 5 months, I think, I mean, and you save a little bit of whatever your earnings are, like
Yeah.
10%, 20%, but then
Yeah.
you don't hoard by saving 80%. You know, that's what I
Exactly.
mean. and you
Exactly.
start doing what you're passionate about. For example, I'm a
Exactly.
passionate traveler. I would do anything to travel, right? But some
Mm.
people don't like traveling. They want to play tennis. So
Yeah.
whatever your passion is, I
Mm.
think the it's utmost important, very important that you gear up and you
Yeah.
work towards your passion, whatever it
Yeah.
is, within your limitations. So
Yes. Yes.
that's my message in general.
You said traveling is your passion. When was the first time you realized that, man, I mean, I love traveling and I want to travel to all the goddamn countries in the world? But what was that epiphany? What was that moment? Tell us about that.
So when I was growing up, right, my mom was a professor in economics, and
Hmm.
then they retired now. My dad is a banker. So when you
Yeah.
work in the bank,
Hmm.
as a national bank, State Bank of India, I think as part of their privilege or as part of their package,
Yeah.
they pay the entire family to travel every two
Oh.
years.
Yeah.
So the bank gives you reimburses you for your travel costs, right?
Yeah.
Because he
Yeah.
was he was he was like man, I don't know what his designation, I can't remember, but something. So that's when other people used to avail and take that cash, right? But my
Exactly.
parents my parents never did that. So whatever money
Okay.
they got from the bank, they used to chip in more money and
Yeah.
take us around, take us around the
Mm.
country. So that's
Mm.
when the travel bug has come in. When I was 5 years old, 6 years old, all right. I mean, my
Mm.
parents have already taken me to Maharashtra, Karnataka, Goa, and all that. And
Mm.
even I went to Bhutan. Those days in my city, Vizag is
Yeah.
not like it's a big city, but it's
It's a
not
big
as
city now.
cosmopolitan. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
even then it was a big city,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
because it's a naval industry, naval
Mm.
base, and a
Mm.
big shipbuilding industry and all that. But the
Yeah.
concept of traveling was not common amongst Indians,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
especially especially in a place like Vizag. Like, let's say we live in a large neighborhood, we go out
Yeah.
somewhere like just Mysore and come back. Everybody used to talk about it for like 10, 15 days. Wow, these people went by plane to Mysore and all that, right?
Or
Somehow,
Bangalore.
Yeah, Bangalore, Mysore, all that, right?
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
gives you a false sense of prestige, especially when you're in a
Yes.
middle class. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
middle class, when everybody talks about you, then you like, oh, okay, this is something people can do, and
Yeah.
you kind of are inspired and motivated to travel more. And
Yes.
also, when you start traveling, I mean, it's something that you like, right? So
Exactly.
that's how the travel bug came into me, and then
Yeah.
never stopped. So in India there are 28 states now because Kashmir is not a state anymore.
Yeah.
I've been to
Yeah.
20. I've been to 21. I've only seven
Oh.
states remaining in
Yeah.
India.
Very nice. Do you come to India often now, or how is it?
I come at least 3 times a year, man.
Three times a
Don't lose my connection. And I have no
year.
business, no work. I'm crazy, right? Like today, I think, hey, let me go to Mumbai tomorrow. I book the flight and go. Like I said, I'm lucky, fortunate enough. So
Wow,
that's what
wow,
I
wow,
do.
wow. Very nice. So you are working with some company, or you have your own business or
So
something?
I'm
Right.
I'm a freelance consultant. I
Okay.
do
Okay.
something like a management consulting.
Wow. Very
So
nice.
whatever job I choose, right? Since I'm a freelance consultant, I work 6 to 8 weeks and at least take 1 week to 10 days off.
Wow.
So so what's special in me or what's unique in me is
Hmm.
I meet a lot of travelers around the world who have also been to 170, 160, 150, whatever countries.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
difference is they've given up their job. They don't have a house. They don't have a car. They have a backpack and they travel, right?
Yeah.
But for me, it's not one agenda, right? I'm a
Yeah.
traveler. At the same time, I want to have a nice lifestyle.
Yeah.
I want to have a
Yeah.
family, nice house, nice job. So that's
Yeah.
why my story is unique because it's not just traveling; it's traveling
Yeah.
alongside leaving everything,
So
keeping everything.
yeah, yeah, that's interesting, and you're in a very good space, I would say that way.
Yeah.
But very nice. So, are you like chasing a record that I want to complete all the countries, or they just happen? Like I'm
So
traveling,
I
I've
mean,
been to a lot of places, or do you have this thing in mind? Ki, okay, I wanna like see all the countries in the world.
so traveling to every country in the world was never a goal, right?
Yeah,
Like I said, when I was in India, middle class dreams, right? I mean, you are like, okay, one day I want to see London, one day I want to see Paris. My life is enough. Like people
yeah,
ask you,
yeah,
right? Hey, what do you want to be in life? People say
yeah,
IAS officer,
yeah,
whatever, right? I always used
yeah.
to say I want to see London and Paris, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So like again, once again, I'm so fortunate.
Yeah.
My actual actions have gone beyond dreams, right? The dream was only to see London and Paris, and then
Now
to
you're going
so
to
like what
Uganda and Rwanda and Pakistan.
many times, right? So and then I started traveling. Also with the Indian passport, it wasn't easy. When you come in as a student, you have limited
Yes,
budget in a foreign country. It's not like your
exactly.
parents can send you dollars
Yeah,
every time. And
Yeah.
then you have a job, then you have to sustain yourself. But I never gave up that passion, man. I used to spend 10 or 20% of my earnings or savings or
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it, and used to
Yeah.
travel somewhere. Like one
Yeah.
trip to Amsterdam and back. That was very hard. One trip to
Wow.
Budapest and back. And then with time, it has gotten
Yeah.
better. Now I average 10 to 15 countries a year. 10 to
That's
15 countries a year.
crazy. So,
Yeah.
in September, I took a sabbatical from work for 3 months. I was in
Uh-huh.
Europe. Now I've seen all the Europe, and I wanted to do that, and it was really enriching. Well, but what moment did you decide? Okay, I think I've covered 50 or 60 or 80 or 100. Now it's easy, or I should chase that all the countries mark. What was
So
that moment?
the only mistake I've done, I
Yeah.
personally think is, like for example, I went to Brazil once.
Hmm.
I absolutely fell in love with Brazil. Then, because I have to maintain my family, maintain my job, and travel, it's
Yeah.
not like I can take a 3 month sabbatical like you,
Yeah.
because I have other
Yeah.
things. I need a nice
Yeah.
house and all that.
Exactly.
So, what I do is I can only take off 5 to 7 days. So,
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
started doing is I take 5 to 7 days off. I'll give you an
Hmm.
example of Italy and spend in Sicily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next time, I take the same 5 7 days and then go to Milan, you
Okay.
know,
Okay.
the northern
Okay.
part of Italy.
So
And
you
I take, so
so
that's
you, yeah.
that's a mistake I did. I think personally,
You're
I
not
was
chasing
doing
countries, you're chasing cities, basically.
exactly. So I've been to Italy like 12 times, France 13 times, Brazil 10 times, so forth. And that's when I realized, why am I doing these repetitions,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
even if you spend 1 year in Italy, there is
yeah.
something that's left over anyway. To
Exactly,
be honest,
exactly,
like in
exactly,
India, a lifetime is not enough to see India. That's when I
exactly.
decided, let me stop these repetitive
Yeah,
countries
yeah.
and started conquering new countries,
Okay,
right?
okay. So,
And then
so
and then
what country mark was that? How many countries have you seen by then?
that was at 100.
Okay, 100
So
is
when it reached
good.
when it reached 100, I was thinking, why am I going to Thailand 100 times? Why am I going
Yeah,
to Brazil 10 times? Instead,
yeah,
let me sell something new. And
yeah.
the problem is, see, nowadays travel is very easy. You have a Google
Yes,
map.
yes,
You can.
yes,
So 10
yes.
years ago, just think 10 years ago, it wasn't easy.
No, no.
There was no Instagram, there was no Facebook, there were no travel forums. And
And I
then
think
I used
flights
to
were
go to
costly-ish.
flights. Were no cost. I think in America it's still costly. It's not like
Okay, okay.
because I'm time driven, right? This is the thing. My travel is expensive because I'm not time driven, right? If you're
Yeah,
time
yeah,
driven, no,
yeah.
if you're not time driven, then you can
Exactly.
look for a cheaper flight,
Yeah,
10,
yeah,
10 layovers. But I can't do
yeah.
that because I've only
Exactly.
7 days. So my travel is very, very expensive. That's why
Mm.
people ask me for travel tips. I say I can't give you any tips about the cost because
Yeah, yeah.
my flight is timing is important.
Of course, of
So
course, of course.
that's when I realized planning was very hard. I used to go
Yeah.
to Barnes and Nobles or a library, pick a book on Hungary, for example, and
Uh,
get
th-
the tips.
those
Right?
Lonely Planet big books.
Lonely Planet books, read them because I didn't
Yeah,
want to buy them and carry them. So you
yeah.
go read them, make notes, and then
Very nice.
on the internet, it's not like we had a mobile phone then. Like I'm
Yeah,
talking about 10, 15 years ago, right?
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was hard. Now I
Mm.
think travel is very easy. You have
Yeah,
Google translators, you have these
yeah.
language speaking
Everything,
apps.
everything. Your
Everything is easy.
hotels, food, everything is there. Sometimes it even makes the
Super.
fun, takes the fun out of traveling also. Interesting. So,
I did not even hear about a hostel till 5 years ago. I used to stay in hotels and stuff. So my travel was very, very expensive, man. I don't want to put a
yeah,
number because the number in Indian terms is
yeah,
huge, how much money I
yeah,
spend on traveling. But I
yeah.
don't regret it. I really love it. And I'm
You
not
did because you
breaking.
could. You did because you
Exactly.
could. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so 100 was a country mark.
Yes.
What
I think
did
100
your
was Kenya. Kenya.
yeah, yeah.
I
So
was in
did
Masai
your
Mara.
yeah Masai
So
Mara,
I was in
Kenya?
Masai.
Yeah,
I was in Masai Mara, and then I was on a 5 day expedition seeing the
yeah,
animals. And after third day, I was like, oh, 100. There were other people, right? I meet across the world. When I said 100, like, man, 100, you should be in the Guinness book. That's what people were saying. I'm like,
So
that's when I thought, let me start
yeah.
doing it.
Did you go to Mount Amboseli and Nakuru?
I went to Nakuru, but I went
Yeah.
to the Serengeti, which is in
Serengeti. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tanzania,
And
technically, but
then
it's on the border.
interesting,
Yeah.
interesting. So
Because Nakuru is where you see the flamingos in the lake.
flamingos.
That's
Yeah, I
why
was there last year in Kenya. So
yeah.
after 100 countries, I mean, did your strategy change? Did you become more goal oriented instead of
No, no. After
and
100
then
countries, life has become easy. Now
yeah,
I only book a flight, the hotel, on the plane, right? No planning. All my trips now are unplanned trips. Not.
Interesting.
Uh, I would say semi-planned because I only have the
The
origin and
flight.
destination,
Yeah,
and now I
yeah.
started doing within 7 days. Right. For example, let's say
Hmm.
Rwanda is not a good example. Let's say I want to
Yeah,
go to Niger, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
in West Africa, some countries have unique things to offer. Some countries don't have unique things to offer. So I'm
yeah, yeah.
always looking for that unique perspective because I'm on a
Hmm.
goal to complete
Hmm.
the world. It's not like I want to spend 7 days with a family in Niger and then
Yeah,
7 days with a family in Burkina Faso. So then
yeah,
I
yeah,
started streamlining because
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not that old and I still have a
yeah,
lifetime. So I thought, let
yeah,
me finish this goal of
yeah,
completing every country in the world. And
yeah.
then
Then I'll go
it's not
again.
like it's not like I'm going to stop, right? I mean, so my actual number of countries is 543. If I add up every country I've been to, like the 3 trips to India,
Uh,
for example, over the past
yeah,
15 years,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
45. If you count up
yeah.
like that, I think it's more than
I
500
think
countries
that'll
I've
be
traveled.
the caption of this podcast. He's been
Yeah,
to
man.
543
Five,
countries.
exactly. Yeah.
By the way, I'm taking notes. I have a pen and book with me. I'm taking notes of what you're saying. Interesting. But the first 100 countries and the next after that, what those like first 100 countries were more easy, tourist friendly, safer countries,
No,
or
they
how were
were
you
the
doing it?
hardest. In terms of a visa, they were harder ones because of an
No, no,
Indian
no,
passport.
visa. Yeah, yeah, I know. Europe, maybe it must be Europe or all those
No,
costly countries.
that way it's the easiest countries. You always start
Okay.
off with traveling Europe, and right there's 47 or 48 countries, right?
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
you start exploring South America because
yeah,
I live close by in the US. But
yeah,
you
yeah,
always have this media thing, right? Like, oh,
yeah.
El Salvador. Oh my God, it's so dangerous. You
Oh,
can't live.
Guyana.
And, yeah, no, Guyana is safe. I mean, I'm talking about
Yeah,
Honduras, for
Honduras.
example.
Yeah,
The most dangerous city in the world. They say now it's
yeah.
Caracas, but then it
Caracas.
was San Pedro Sula. So you
Uh,
have all these things, right? When you're young, why would you want to risk going to all these countries when you can travel
exactly.
safely to Austria and Hungary and Slovakia? So
Exactly.
I would say the first 50 or 60 were
Yeah.
easy. I would put
Easy.
them in the
Yeah.
very easy category.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
next 50 or next 40 I would put,
Yeah.
like, for example, Uzbekistan. There's no danger.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
going from the US, from India, it's easy. From going from the US to Bukhara or
Yeah.
Samarkand
Yeah.
is a little
Exactly.
challenging and planning and all that. So I would
Yeah.
put in the mid category. So I
Yeah.
have the hardest ones to the
Yeah.
final category.
Okay, so perfect. So right now, I think all those like North Korea, Syria, and all these countries must
North
be
Korea
remaining
is
for
done.
you.
North Korea is done, man.
So what's remaining for you now? Seven countries remaining, or
So nine
nine?
countries,
What
nine
are those
technically.
9 countries remaining for you?
So I'll try to remember. Okay, I'll start in the Middle East.
Are
The
those like
biggest travel,
Tuvalu, Nauru, and all of those countries, small
no,
Micronesia?
Nauru is done. Micronesia is done. So the
Okay,
biggest travel mistake I've done in my life, the
yeah.
biggest, huge travel mistake is not traveling to Iran when I had an Indian passport.
Oh damn, I
So
get you
so
now.
so if I go back, right,
Yeah,
as an
yeah.
American, I can go to Iran, but I
Hmm.
need to be on a guided tour. I need to have a driver. I need to have a security guard. I need somebody's going to follow me.
Hmm.
That's not
Hmm.
travel for me,
But you have to
right?
give up your Indian passport for American passport.
Yeah,
Yeah,
India doesn't
India.
do doesn't do
Yeah,
dual. So,
yeah.
and Modi's promise, one of his election promises was that he would give us dual citizenship. But I
He's
mean,
not.
that's a least of his priorities. Right? He has a lot more things to do. I'm not blaming him, but it would be nice. He has given us
Yeah.
OCI, which means I'm just like you. I can come and work in India. I can live in
Mhm.
India. I can do
Mhm.
everything you can do, except
Yeah,
voting in the election. That's it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that is a big deal. He has done all that. I'm very happy. But the biggest mistake, but going back to travel, is
Mm,
not traveling to Iran. I personally
mm,
think Iran is
mm.
one of the most
Both
beautiful
beautiful
countries,
country. Persia.
most fascinating
Mm,
culture, history, everything. And I
mm,
would say it has always been on my top. I
mm,
don't know
mm,
why it slipped from my
mm.
mind, and I did not do Iran. Iran was easy. Iran had
Very easy.
visa
Yes,
on
yes,
arrival
yes.
for Indian passport before. So you just
Yeah,
buy a ticket, you land in
yeah.
Iran. I don't know. And
In
and some
India,
of my
India
friends
have,
here,
yeah, yeah,
some of my friends here don't travel because they want to apply for US citizenship later on, and they
yeah,
think, but
yeah.
that wasn't the reason why I didn't do it. I don't know why I didn't do it. Biggest blunder of my life. And now I want to travel to Iran. Now I want
Yeah,
to travel to Iran. I can, but I
yeah.
have a job that I cannot talk about.
Mm,
Because of the job, I cannot travel to some countries. In the sense, it's a
mm.
little risky to travel to some
Yeah,
countries.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why. So
Maybe you
coming
will
back to
love it for the past. The last will be the Iran.
no, Iran is doable, but it's a
Yeah,
fake Iran. Iran has
yeah,
two islands. There's an
yeah.
island called Kish Island, and there
Mm,
is another
mm,
island I can't remember. these are autonomous islands.
Yeah.
Meaning, you don't need a visa. Americans don't need a visa to go there, but it's still
Hmm.
Iran.
Okay,
So
okay,
all the
okay,
travelers, that's what they do. So I'm going to do something like that. Just
okay.
to cross off Iran, I go to the Keach Island, which is
Yeah,
under the Persian flag, under the Iranian flag,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
done. But it's not real Iran.
Yeah.
But what do?
But okay, so actually, I have so many questions. I do not.
Yeah,
It's okay. Let's start.
go ahead,
So
go ahead.
now, so you're. Are you make like? Would you be making some record if you complete all this? Because I'm not sure if any Indian has seen all the countries on Indian passport.
But I don't have an Indian passport now. Number
Yeah,
one,
but any Indian
but number
have.
two, but India is very convenient. Like for example,
Yeah.
Sunita Williams go to space, and
Hmm.
she's Indian, though she
Hmm.
doesn't have an Indian passport. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's how it is. Like Sania Mirza is not Indian anymore; she's
Yeah.
Pakistan.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Pakistan, whatever that is. So
Yeah. Yeah.
irrespective, I think. So people ask me, like when I was doing my Pakistani vlogs, I say
Hmm.
first Indian vlogger in Gilgit Baltistan. Some people, smart people, were asking me, "You don't have an Indian passport. How are you Indian?" I said, "I don't
Yeah.
have an Indian passport, but I'm not Indian. What
Yeah.
am I called? Am I called American or am I called Chinese or what?" So it's the nationality by passport
Yeah.
versus
Exactly.
ethnicity. So I think I'm
Ethnicity.
Indian, man. If my daughter, who was born in the US, she walks on the road, what do the people call her? People call her
What
white or
what do I eat for food for dinner? Am I eating hamburgers or I'm eating roti and chapati?
exactly. So for me, you call it convenience or whatever.
Yeah,
I think we are Indian because Indian is an ethnicity, it's a culture,
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
tradition,
yeah, yeah.
not the passport that you hold.
Exactly,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
So would you be
So
eligible of
no,
this
no,
some record?
I don't know. See, the thing I keep thinking about is, you think my Instagram is doing good, I have enough followers and stuff, but I think for the 186 countries that I've been to, with a 1.4 billion population of India, I think I'm not doing good. So I don't know what I need to do. Maybe it's marketing, maybe it's word of the. I don't know
Yeah,
what it is. I never paid
yeah,
attention, but I started thinking about it like
yeah.
3-4 months ago. There was a Brazilian guy. The Brazilian guy touched his last country, and he had 3 million likes on his post and like 300,000 comments. I'm giving you an example.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
The
I'll come to
support
that.
Brazil.
I'll come
Yeah,
to that part. I'll come to that part that I've already
sure.
thought of. But would you be
But let
like,
me explain one thing though.
yeah,
Let me explain.
yeah,
So
yeah.
officially, 500 or 600 people have gone to space. The official record is only 175 or 180 have been to every country in the world. So just compare
Yeah,
600 people in space versus
yeah,
100 or 200 people to every
yeah,
country. So it's a
yeah, yeah.
huge thing. And I also know that there are two people who have completed, two Indians have completed every country in the world. One lives
Yeah.
in Dubai. I don't know what passport he has. One is from Bangalore. But then when he completed all the countries, there weren't new countries. Now there are new
Yeah.
countries. But
How do you
ultimately,
define?
though, yeah,
uh, uh,
ultimately, though,
yeah,
even if there's no record, even if I'm one of the 10 or one of the
makes
50
sense.
Indians,
Makes sense.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
huge, man.
That's huge.
That's
That's
huge.
huge. That's huge.
Yeah,
You're setting up a great example, and I think you are one of the people who will be, motivating our generation or the next generation to come to travel the world. And that's one
yes.
thing which we need. Yeah. So coming to your social media now, like I've seen a lot
Hmm.
of like social media influencer, travel influencer in India right now. Even they have gone to 5 countries, 10 countries. They marketed so much, so much that like they have become the travel blogger or something. And you've been to so
Exactly.
many countries, 543
Yes.
countries. I mean, I've not seen you focusing so much on your Instagram or social media, making
Yes.
that as a
Yes.
source
Yes.
of income or YouTube. Now I see, I think you started recently. I subscribed to that also,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
focus on you never thought of monetizing it. And I think that's
No.
a real traveler who do it for the social media. But I think why have you not done it, or did you miss the bus, or did
I'm thinking, I don't think the 5 countries people are
yeah,
monetizing it because they want fame. I'm thinking maybe if you give up your job, right?
yeah, yeah,
Maybe you
yeah,
give up your travel, your income, source
yeah,
of income,
yeah,
and then you're
yeah,
traveling.
yeah.
There's got to be somewhere you fund it. So
Exactly.
maybe that's when there is a reason or a drive for them to
Yeah,
monetize it,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then look for sponsors. For
mm,
example, recently one country, Iran. I mean,
yeah,
they offered 15-day sponsorship travel. I
yeah,
had to deny it. I had to decline it because, first of all, I didn't want to go to Iran with my
yeah,
condition
yeah,
I'm in.
yeah,
Second thing, I cannot go by their timelines.
yeah, yeah,
Like I said,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
time for me. For example, let's say you tell me, hey, why don't you come to Aligarh? I'll show you all of
yeah,
UP. I will
yeah,
pay for car, food,
yeah,
everything, but
yeah,
give me 10
yeah,
days. I
yeah,
can't take it. So
yeah,
that's why I never looked at monetizing, because I do have a
yeah,
job. I earn
yeah,
very well. So for
yeah,
me, time was a concern. So that's why
yeah,
I never thought of influencing or
yeah.
collaborations. For example, I do get a lot of collaborative offers from Under Armour, Tumi bags, and all this. I've never taken even one, not
But
even
why
once, because
not?
I don't need them. I don't need the money, man.
But what's the harm in that? Like, what's the harm in that?
So if I advertise to me, I
Yeah.
put my post as to me, then it's not going to be a travel profile. I wanted my profile to be a travel profile. Then you start advertising. You start with
But
one, then you're looking at collaborations. Something that you don't use, like, do you really you drink Pepsi every day to advertise
no.
Pepsi? I don't know. So
No,
I
what I'm
don't know.
saying. Yeah.
Nah, there's no
I
harm,
know.
but
Yeah, yeah.
I never thought of it. I never went that route. But now I
Okay.
started wondering, because I see some influencers, um, like maybe 4 months ago, they have
Yeah.
traveled to less countries than I did, and they have like a
Less,
million followers.
I'll say less than half or quarter of the countries you have traveled to, not even less.
Exactly, right. And I suddenly realized they have like 3 million
Yeah,
subscribers on YouTube,
yeah,
and they have
yeah.
like a million. And I'm like, okay, then I'm doing something wrong. So that's
Exactly.
when I decided. I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to speak with somebody in India, marketing or whatever,
Yeah,
just to get the word of the mouth. I don't want money, right? I mean, it's not like I
yeah,
want to go on a TV show and explain
yeah,
to somebody and give me.
yeah,
So here is the good thing. I don't want any money. All I
yeah.
need is people to know
So
that there is a
yeah,
guy who's of Indian
exactly.
origin, who is Indian, who speaks like an Indian. My accent hasn't changed.
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
speaks like
yeah,
an
yeah.
Indian,
You have that
that has
Telugu touch.
traveled to, yeah, that has traveled to all these countries.
No,
That's for me.
that's what I was surprised because I messaged some couple of travel bloggers from India as well who were like who have a good, decent, good this thing social media followership, but they have not been that much exposure. And the moment I replied to you, you just the moment I messaged you, you replied. I was like, damn. I mean, this guy is so humble, and he just replied and he's agreed like this. So that was a good moment for me, and which
Uh,
maybe because I've seen like in India right now, I know some travel bloggers they've got that kind of pride or something, that okay
yeah.
now we are something, we have got the followership or something, and that was very good of you, and that shows that you're not just passionate about like traveling. I mean, you're not there to make money from it. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what about you've been to Pakistan and you have been to so many countries which people have not
Yes.
even might not even be knowing
Yep.
the name. So, what was the most
So
difficult, easy, interesting stories, or somewhere something got fucked up, or
so being an Indian,
yeah,
difficulty does not really mean difficulty in money or difficulty in getting a visa. Difficulty also in the mind, right? For
mm.
example, you being an Indian,
In your
what
mind
would
or
be
in
your
the
first,
other person's
in my
mind?
mind, in
Okay,
any
okay,
traveler's mind? Like, for
okay.
example, North Korea is not dangerous at all. North Korea probably is the most safest country because nobody
You,
can steal from you, nobody can kill
mm.
you, nobody can murder you, right?
You went on your
Only
Indian passport or an American passport to North
that's
Korea?
the Indian passport. I'll
How did
explain
you
that as well.
manage?
With the Indian passport, it's very easy to go to North Korea, man.
Did you go to via China or you went?
Yeah,
I don't know,
why
like
you can go to China, apply for a visa. It's so easy. If you have money, you can do it. But so this is the perception of Indians or anybody. Oh, North
yeah,
Korea is the most dangerous. North Korea
yeah,
is the most safest country if you can visit, because
yeah.
nobody's gonna steal from you, nobody's gonna harm you, nobody's gonna kill you, and you're always on a guided tour. So they show you the good parts, good parts of it.
Yeah.
So the perception about Pakistan.
Hmm.
When I finally made my move to go to Pakistan,
Yeah,
I received more than 500 messages on WhatsApp and Instagram, and I can't see. Okay, so
yeah,
on saying that, dude, you really want to go? You want to die? You want to come back? And then this is fear mongering. The first thing
yeah,
that comes
yeah.
to your mind is, man, I'm not going to go to Pakistan.
Same happened with
That's
me when
number
I
one.
was going to Kenya. Actually, people were around me
Kenya
were a
is,
little jittery.
yeah, so exactly the same thing, right? So first of the biggest hurdle is always your mind and how you feel.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean I'm asking you to go into a Taliban territory or into Al Qaeda territory, but I'm just saying
Yeah,
there is something on paper and something in reality,
exactly, exactly.
right?
Agree,
So
completely agree.
same thing in Palestine, right? I mean, I know India gave
Hmm.
refuge to all these Palestinian
Yeah.
students, and India was
Hmm.
paying for their college. I
Hmm.
met a lot of Palestinians, but then the
Hmm.
perception when you're in media
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
Palestine is nothing but terrorists and people kill
Hmm.
you.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
first
yeah.
time when I went to Israel in 2006 for the first time, and I was crossing into Palestine to Bethlehem and Ramallah and stuff. I was so tense, I thought I was going to die. Then you go there, you see the most friendliest people that
Yeah,
invite you and say, Hindi, come in, Hindi, Hindi meaning
yeah,
Indian.
yeah,
Come
yeah.
in and they feed you. that's when you see what you see on media is not
Yeah,
what always is
and I
true.
think that, like, before I'll just tell you, I'll interrupt you here. You will, I think, you will agree with me. Like I was not very proud. Like, I'm not very proud of my country because, like, whatever media says or people think. But when you go to some of these countries and people get so excited that you're from India, then you realize, man, I mean, your country is also something in the world. Would you agree on
Amazing.
that?
100%, 100%. I mean, I'm not speaking. I tell this to all my people who disagree with me. And then Pakistan is doing very well in terms of tourism. I also
Yeah,
will come to that and say why Pakistan is doing so well and why India is not. Relatively,
yeah,
the perception of India,
yeah.
any foreign tourist comes, the first
Hmm.
perception of India is somebody is going to scam you. That's the
Scam or
usual
rape
perception.
or rape
Scam.
you.
Rape is not as much, but scam.
Yeah,
Scam is for sure, right? I mean, if I go to a different state, they try to scam
yeah,
me. Hey, coming, you buy this, and then so I'll explain why that is. And
yeah,
so the biggest hurdle is your fear. I
yeah,
think I
yeah,
personally, more than money or more than logistics. Once you
yeah,
overcome the fear,
yeah,
so when I
yeah.
went to Pakistan, I'm telling you, man, more than 500 messages from relatives, from friends asking, "Are you crazy? You went to Pakistan?" I went to Pakistan, and I also went to Pakistan the worst time, the Kashmir crisis, when Modi ji
Oh, yeah,
abrogated Article 370,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pakistan broke off all diplomatic relationships. The
Hmm,
boarding
hmm, hmm,
was closed. Border was closed. That's when I
hmm.
chose to go to
So you
Pakistan.
flew in from US, or how was it? Was it direct flight or via Dubai or Doha,
No,
Qatar or
no, no.
somewhere?
I came to India because every time I come to Asia, I make sure I stop 1 or 2 days in India because I mean,
Yeah,
India, man, is
yeah,
enchanting. India is fascinating. India is incredible, you know. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
especially when you're Indian origin. And I
yeah,
always
yeah.
keep telling people, I'm not
Hmm,
speaking as an Indian. I'm speaking as somebody who has
hmm,
traveled to almost every country in the world. I've
yeah.
seen every nook and corner of the world. I'm telling you, India for me is the most incredible country. Not
Wow.
because I'm Indian, right? Once again, I'm telling you the diversity that India has. For
Yes,
example,
yes, I
you said
agree.
you said you traveled in Europe, right?
Yeah,
So you go
yeah,
from Germany to Spain. The language
yeah,
changes, but everything else is
yeah.
the same. Not
Yes,
much of
yes,
a difference. But
yeah.
imagine you go from Tamil Nadu to Odisha,
Everything
everything
changes.
changes. You go from UP to Kerala, everything
Hmm,
changes. The way you
hmm,
dress, the way you everything literally.
hmm,
And
hmm,
then
hmm.
this country holding up like this
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah,
really amazing, right? So diverse. Some
yeah,
Pakistani
yeah.
friends joke with me saying that, hey man, in Dubai we live with North Indians and South Indians. North Indians hate South Indians, South Indians hate North Indians. I said it's all on paper, but is South India fighting for a separate country, or is North India fighting for a
No.
separate country? I tell
Yeah,
these Pakistani people, man, you have a separate country in 1947. It took only what 57, 67, 24 years, and
yeah,
you have a separate Bangladesh. So
yeah.
fighting on
In
policies
Balochistan
just
now.
no, policies I don't know, but at least what has happened, right? What has happened. So,
Yeah, yeah,
so when I traveled to Pakistan,
yeah.
I did not feel any difference between Pakistan and India. So
Exactly, exactly.
the way I traveled through Delhi or Mumbai, that's exactly the vibe. I
So,
did not even feel like I'm in a different country.
so you
You know?
flew in from Mumbai or what, Delhi or Chennai to Lahore, Islamabad, or what was it?
No. So what happened? My idea was I saw this movie Veer Zara. Ever since from that Veer Zara, I've always had this passion to cross that border. You know, Wagah
Yeah,
border. It's like a
yeah,
most thrilling, thrillsome event. But
yeah,
unfortunately, when I came in, that's the first week of border
yeah,
shutdown. So
yeah,
I came
yeah.
to India. My original idea was to go from Mumbai to Amritsar and cross the Wagah border and
Yeah.
go to Lahore. But I called a lot of five-star hotels in Amritsar. I called Pakistani side. There was no information.
Okay.
So because I didn't want to lose time, I book a
Hmm.
last minute flight. Like I always told you, right? The flight
Yeah,
maybe is
yeah.
$300, but I spent
Okay.
$1,000, like 5 times more, last
Yeah,
minute,
yeah,
and then I
yeah,
flew to Dubai, Dubai to Lahore.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
And
And
also one more thing, Pakistan like a year ago wasn't getting a Pakistani visa was one of the hardest, even for a non-Indian. Even an
hmm.
American wants to visit or Italian wants to visit, getting
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Pakistan visa was very
But I
very
think
hard.
now
I,
they are pushing a lot of tourism there,
Yeah.
right?
So about a year or 2 years ago, after I think Modi's government did visa on arrival for India, and then the Indian tourism grew up by leaps and bounds. I think
Hmm.
Pakistan also took a cue from there, and
Yeah,
Pakistan
yeah,
also had a fundamental perception problem.
yeah,
Anytime you say Pakistan, not just the Indian, like two
yeah,
years ago,
yeah,
it's nothing
yeah.
but Taliban, terrorism,
Exactly.
bombings.
Agree.
That's they had a perception problem, but
Agree.
reality is
Agree.
different. And,
Yeah.
and according to the Pakistanis I meet and speak with, they were saying 10 years ago their life was really bad. The
Hmm.
parents were worried if somebody goes out from their home in Karachi, they're worried about their children come. It was like that. Is what the story is. I don't know. I'm not on the ground.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
Pakistan
yeah,
has cleaned up. It's become much safer. In many ways, Pakistan is now very. It has a good tourist
yeah,
potential,
yeah,
and
yeah.
also they made the tourist visa very very easy.
Very easy, of course, of course.
Even
But yeah,
Saudi Arabia wasn't giving any tourist visas 2 years
oh,
ago. Only religion visa. You can go to
oh,
Makkah or
yeah,
Umrah,
yeah,
but now even Saudi Arabia for tourist potential they
yeah,
made
yeah.
very
Now you
easy.
can go to
So my
Jeddah, Riyadh,
timing
and
was
everywhere.
my
Yeah,
timing was perfect. So when I
perfect.
applied for Pakistani visa, then again we had a doubt, right? Because India doesn't give visas to even Pakistani-born American citizens.
Okay, so oh, okay, okay, okay,
So even
okay.
if you're an American citizen with American passport,
Yeah,
India
yeah,
rejects a lot of cases. So we can't blame Pakistan for not giving Indians visas because it
yeah.
goes both ways, man.
Both ways.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
if
It's
I'm not,
tit
if
for
not, if
tat.
I'm not, if you don't allow me in Aligarh, I wouldn't allow you in Vizag, right? I mean,
Right,
something
of
of
course.
that
Yeah,
sort.
yeah.
So we can't
So
blame Pakistan
yeah,
saying Pakistan is being hostile. I
mm.
think the hostility is both sides.
It's tit
Like
for tat.
yeah,
Yeah. So
exactly.
how
So
was your
when
experience
even
there?
so even when I applied for the visa, I was not sure because my place of birth on my passport says India.
Why
So I was
exactly?
not really sure. But visa was very easy. I applied for a e-visa. I got it within a week. The best part is, even if you get a Pakistani visa, right?
Hmm.
You can only travel to Lahore, Islamabad, and Karachi. That's it. You can't
Hmm.
go outside of those three cities.
You can't go
But
to
since
Gilgit and all these places.
absolutely not.
Oh fuck.
You
Okay.
need an NOC, which is
Hmm.
extremely difficult to get. I mean,
NOC from
unless
who?
from
From
the
the Pakistan
Pakistan government.
government. Oh, okay, okay,
Because
okay.
it's their control, right? I mean, you
Yeah, yeah,
agree or you
yeah,
don't agree.
yeah,
Gilgit Baltistan is part of Pakistan now. You
yeah,
can call it
yeah,
POK,
yeah,
whatever you want to call it.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
look at
yeah.
the reality. Like
Reality.
Indian
Yeah,
Kashmir,
yeah. Exactly,
they
exactly.
call our Kashmir Indian occupied Kashmir, but the reality is it's an Indian flag, Indian visa.
Yeah, yeah,
So if
yeah,
I have to take
yeah.
a Pakistan visa to go to some country, I consider
Uh,
it Pakistan. I'm a
exactly.
realist.
But then how did you go there? Like, did so? Were you limited to all these places, or were you able
No,
to
no,
get?
no.
Mhm.
I had no limit. I could even go to Balochistan. The visa didn't say anything. So I was
Okay.
like, wow. And then I flew freely everywhere. And then this is very important. So every time I say something on YouTube, people say, "Oh, Pakistan government, are you a Gaddar or whatever, whatever." I don't need to be a Gaddar. Pakistan
It's
did not pay me a single penny. They did
yeah,
not give me special treatment. I went with
yeah,
my
yeah,
own dime.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
telling you,
yeah.
man, Pakistanis
Hmm.
are just like Indians, man. If somebody says Pakistanis are amazing, it's nothing but a credit to the whole subcontinent
To the
because
whole subcontinent.
if you
Yeah.
if you take off the line, what's the difference between Pakistan and India?
No, I met a
Uh,
lot of Pakistanis out of India, and they are same, and like they are so
no,
friendly, and it just
yeah,
you realize that the politics is fucking up the whole thing. Otherwise,
exactly,
Pakistanis and we're just
exactly.
same. The thinking, mind
So
process, and yeah, food, everything is same.
you cannot even say, hey, Pakistan is Muslim. India has
Yeah,
more Muslims than Pakistan,
exactly, exactly,
right?
exactly.
So
So
you're in Aligarh. I
yeah.
don't have to tell you, right?
How was Pakistan like? What was your experience like in Pakistan?
Pakistan was really like I'm telling you, I did not really find a difference between India and
Okay,
Pakistan.
okay,
I think they're
okay.
exactly one and the same. The
Hmm.
culture, the way we emote, the way we feel, everything is exactly the same. So there's not
Okay,
really much of a
nice.
difference. And Pakistan
Okay,
was an amazing experience, man. I have a lot of Pakistani friends. I
yeah,
mean, we differ about Kashmir or whatever.
yeah,
Even
yeah.
like Andhra Pradesh used to be one state, and then it split
Hmm.
into two. And
I
all the
know. Yeah,
Telangana people and Andhra Pradesh people were fighting. So those
yeah.
differences always remain. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. We're all the same, man.
Okay, so I think we have already talked 40 minutes, so I'll move to other topic now. So, being an
Okay.
Indian and being a brown Indian, did you face any racism or something like that in having
So I
been?
don't know. A lot of people complain about racism and stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's a coincidence or I was lucky. I did not face even once any
Wow.
kind of racist profiling or anything. So I'm living in the US for what 23, 24 years now. Not even one incident. I've shown you my house, how I live. It's not like somebody
You
comes in and
are
says,
rich. What the fuck?
somebody comes in and says, "Yo, you're a fucking immigrant. You are an Indian. Go back to your country. You live better than." Not even once, man. I showed you right
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah,
I showed
yeah,
you
yeah,
the car.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah,
even once. That's why I proudly feel.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think probably
Yeah.
India is more
Hmm.
racist. I mean, if you ask me,
Exactly. Yeah,
than
yeah, yeah.
USA or whatever. So Indians should not be complaining, right? Because we have caste, creed, we have language barriers. Biharis can't run
Hmm.
autos. I mean, these things, right? So
Yeah.
I personally think being an Indian, coming from an Indian ethos, I should not be complaining about racial profiling. But to be honest, though, I was never
Yeah.
discriminated. if people were talking behind my back, I wouldn't know. But
and
I personally did not face it.
and you wouldn't know, and you wouldn't even care.
I
Yeah,
mean, sometimes the racial profiling could be bad, right? What if they start attacking you? Then it's a problem. But if they're not attacking you and
yeah.
they're only bad mouthing you, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah,
That's my
but you
opinion.
did. You didn't tell me like what are the 9 countries remaining, because that is interesting. Iran is one of them. I know now 8 countries.
Iran, Venezuela in South America, only one remaining.
Yeah.
Venezuela. In Africa, there are two countries remaining: Libya and Somalia.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Have you been to
So
Syria?
Somalia is easy. No, no, not yet.
Okay.
How many do we have? Libya, Somalia, Venezuela.
Yes,
That's three.
Venezuela and Iran 4.
Iran four. Yemen five. Yemen.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Syria is
Yemen 5.
six.
Yeah.
Syria is six. And in the South Pacific, I've done everything except Tuvalu. That's
One.
seven.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done
Okay.
everything else. Micronesia, Marshall, everything is done. So seven. I can't think of. I can't remember the two. Turkmenistan is one.
Yeah.
Eight. Turkmenistan did not give me a visa. The only visa I ever got rejected. I don't know why. And according to people, they randomly reject visas. It's
Yeah.
no
90.
reason.
I was talking to one more person from India 2 days back. He's been to Turkmenistan. He said 93% of the visas get rejected to Turkmenistan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And mine got rejected. This was like when 2011.
On
I
Indian
haven't tried
passport?
after
On
that.
the Indian passport? It was on
No,
Indian passport?
it was American passport.
Maybe
I
that's
still
why.
got rejected. No. Like an American passport, I know a lot of white guys, non-white people. They all got
Yeah.
rejected that year because I think they have a quota. They
Yeah.
only give like 200. Or I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay.
So
Interesting.
Turkmenistan. Did I
So,
give you all 9 countries?
yeah, I think eight you give, one is missing. It's still.
Something.
It's all right. It's all right.
When I remember, I'll give it to you.
So, what was the longest flight you have taken? Because you've been to all those Pacific Airlines and everything. So, I'm sure there must be some really long flights or connecting
You're
flights.
talking about one long flight or the longest journey?
Longest journey.
And I mean, now I've become a pro, right? I mean, even if there's a longest flight, I take a break in Brisbane. For example, let's say I have to go to Marshall Islands.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So
yeah,
let's say Papua New Guinea. I went to Papua
Yeah.
New Guinea,
yeah,
and then I had to go from Cairns.
yeah,
But when I had these connections, I won't really feel it because in Cairns, I spend 1 or 2 days, go to the Great Barrier Reef, and then continue.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so it wasn't really hard.
Okay.
No way. You plan
And
it properly.
as you've been to so many countries, a lot of countries are there, like Papua Guinea or in Caribbean, where there's a lot of Indian population, right?
No, it's not in Caribbean. Papua New Guinea is in Pacific,
No,
not
no, I'm
Caribbean.
saying yeah,
Caribbean is
Pacific. No, and a lot of countries in Caribbean, like Trinidad,
yes,
or
yes, yes.
so there are a lot of Indian population. So did you feel like amazed or different? Okay, these guys are Indian.
I'll tell you exactly. They're Indian, but they're not Indian.
Yeah,
They are
yeah,
like
yeah.
fourth and fifth generation Indian.
Yes, yeah, yes, yes.
I'll give you the best example, right?
Yeah.
I was flying to Trinidad and Tobago from I can't remember, New York, I think.
Yeah.
Port of Spain is the capital. I was flying,
Yeah.
and next to me was an Indian, meaning somebody who looks like anybody we see.
Yeah,
And then we were talking. I was in first class, and we were talking. And she's like, I asked her, oh yeah, she's like fifth generation Indian, speaks Hindi,
Yeah.
Hindu, goes to the temple, practices all the traditions, everything. I asked, have you gone to India? She's like, man, going to India is scary. She didn't say no. She said scary. I said, why? I don't know. In the movies we watch, you go to a hospital, they take your kidneys out and sell them. So this is the first. So that's why I said it's all in the mind and it's all what you're fed. Somebody of Indian origin, fifth generation, speaks like us, looks like us, talks like us, practices like us, culture, religion, everything is the same. But she doesn't want to go to India because she's scared somebody would rape her or she goes to. So that is the perception problem, right? So their accent is so different. When I speak with them, they speak exactly like a Caribbean. They look the same. They have that thing, oh, you're Indian. And then also when I went to Trinidad and Tobago, there is a black gang, there is an Indian gang.
Okay.
Who are fighting against each other with guns and very, very dangerous territory.
So
what it means is you kind of become and customize and you become part of the country that you visit. Or you live
in. Interesting. So something bad happened during your travels, something scary or some incidents which might have nothing happened?
I don't know. nothing I was really concerned about. There are a lot of times I went to the airport late. I lost my plane
No,
connection.
not those way.
But
Maybe somewhere you got robbed or somebody put a knife on you, give me your money or something like that. Something happened where you
I mean,
felt unsafe.
I wish I had one, man. That would be a nice story, but I don't, unfortunately.
Interesting. Okay. And any moments which really touched your soul while you were traveling, because you've been to such small different countries or something.
Lots of them.
Where you
I can
realize
just
that what
pin.
the fuck I'm doing in US, or why am I chasing money or
Yeah, I
something.
mean,
Yeah.
many times you realize when you travel, you realize like people live in like maybe 10 rupees a day. I'm giving an example,
Yeah,
20
yeah,
rupees
yeah,
a day. Then you
yeah,
start
yeah.
wondering, do I really need what I have to survive? Right?
Mm, mm,
I
mm.
can, with maybe 10% of my income, I
Yeah.
can live an
Right.
amazing life that,
Amazing, right?
that millions of people can't live. You get these senses of realization, but
Yeah,
then maybe it's peer pressure or maybe it's what you're used to. You come
yeah,
back, you have all these lofty thoughts. You come
yeah.
back home, back to square one.
Event to
It's like
square.
the it's like the corona crisis, right? During the
Yeah,
corona crisis, everybody's like thinking, oh, you know what, we can have better life, we should have less animosity, let's be friend, only love. You think the crisis goes? You think people are going to be reformed? Same old.
fuck that shit.
This is the real.
Interesting.
This is the reality.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
many moments, and then I think
yeah.
in Namibia. Yeah, the scary part in Namibia, I almost died. Okay, what happened? It's not because somebody kidnapped me or whatever. In Namibia, the roads are gravel roads.
Okay.
Gravel roads. Most of the
Yeah.
roads are gravel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was going from Windhoek to Sisserim in the desert, Sosilwe, and then half the desert is tar road. I was doing like 100 kilometers an hour, 120 kilometers an hour racing, and
Yeah.
suddenly the gravel road. I did not realize I need to transition, right? So I was
Ah.
driving like crazy, 70, 80 kilometers, and suddenly an elephant or a bear came on the road because it's in the national park.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I hit the brake, and my car rolled 10 times, right?
Were you
Because
alone
it's a
or with
big
some
park.
guide or family
No,
or?
I was alone. I mean, by the time I become a pro, I started exploring things. I don't want a guide. I don't want to travel with anybody. I just want to
Yeah.
make friends on
Yeah.
the way. And so 10
Yeah.
times I rolled. I thought that was the end of my life. This was 2012 or 13. I cannot remember. And that's
Wow.
when is the biggest realization. You almost die. And I did not even have a scratch on my body, not even a single scratch. The only thing that broke, the car could have
Hmm.
like blown up
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
desert, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
True.
it hit a big rock and all the windows got smashed. That was a near-death experience. That was the scary experience. That's when I realized every country I go now, a big chunk in Indian terms or even in US dollars, I donate it to somebody I don't know. Like I don't want to give the charity to you because you have an
Yeah.
obligation then. Like let's say I
Yeah.
give you $1,000 or $2,000 as charity.
Yeah.
Then in my mind, like let's say I do something and you don't comment on my post or something, I'm like, oh, this idiot, I gave him $2,000 as charity and he doesn't do this to me. So I don't
Yeah.
want to have this
Yeah. Yeah.
obligation. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I go to some organization, some school, whatever. After the Namibia, I've been to
Yeah.
like maybe 70 countries after that. And in each of the countries I did something that is
Wow.
philanthropy.
Very nice.
And I don't
Interesting.
advertise this, I don't post this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, in India, in Indian terms or in the US terms, it's a big chunk that I give in every country.
Very
And those
nice.
people will never see me. I don't see them ever. So
That's nice. I
that's
think you're a
that's the
nice
moment.
person.
Yeah.
So, you don't travel with your family? I mean, your
I
wife or
know.
kid? Oh, okay,
I
but
so that their priorities, right? Again, for example, recently I went to Afghanistan,
yeah,
right? I think of all the countries I've been to so far, that was the most scary experience. Most scary because I've never seen so many guns in my life. I live in a country who everywhere guns are free in America.
NRA.
I've never seen so many guns in my life. You go on the road, there are 20 people carrying guns. At a traffic, in the traffic junction where you're directing traffic, everybody has two guns. I'm like, that was scary. And then you go to a nice restaurant, there are 10 security checks and 5 gunmen outside. So that was the most scary
So,
experience.
was it just like touching Afghanistan, Kabul, and coming back, or did you move around a
No,
little bit
I
too?
did Kabul and I went to Panjshir and some neighborhood areas.
Yeah,
And people strongly suggested they can go to Bamiyan, but don't go to this place, this place, this place. I also didn't have time. I had only 5 days. In those 5 days, I did Nigeria. No, I went from Nigeria, Niger, Sudan, South Sudan, and then I had 5 days from Afghanistan. So in
yeah,
5 days, I didn't want to rush up. And
Again, was it
I
a
can go.
guided tour? Was it a guided tour or?
I don't do guided tours. I just like to explore by myself. I think guided tour is not a tour. That, in my opinion, guided tour is not travel
But did
because
you have
you get
friends or something there? Or you were all
you
alone?
make friends. You make
Oh,
friends. Instagram. You make friends on Couchsurfing. You go
yeah,
on
yeah,
forums.
yeah,
Friend referrals. It's not hard.
yeah.
But the guided
Interesting.
tour for me is for 70 and above. That's my opinion. And then
Mm.
you go on a plane. You get off the plane. They put you in a nice air conditioned bus. You go to a hotel. How is that traveling? That for me,
Exactly.
right?
No,
So
no,
all you get.
yeah, but it's like Afghanistan. That's why I was asking. Nice. And what? How does your family react to all this? I mean, your wife, she doesn't. Why don't you take me with? Why don't you take me with you all the places? Or why are you doing
Because
it?
they
Why
don't
are
want to
this man?
go. I don't have the problem. If I say you want to come to Afghanistan, like, are you crazy? I'm not going to go. I say, do you want to come to South Sudan where a civil war was going on, very risky when I went? Are you crazy? No. So my family, they love to
what's
go to
Ravi?
safe.
What's Ravi's perfect idea of a romantic dinner? Let's go to South Sudan and have some coffee there.
And so my family prefers to, we do 3 or 4 family trips a year. It's
Okay.
mostly like going to a beautiful resort in Mexico or Caribbean or Europe or
Hmm.
something like
Hmm.
that. So
Interesting.
my family has also traveled. Like my wife has gone to more than 40 or 50 countries.
Wow, very nice.
And my daughter has been to over 25 countries.
Yeah,
So they have
yeah,
traveled well, but
yeah.
they don't want to travel like I do. And
Hmm.
I prefer not to travel with my family because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
travel experience is going to be different. Then I have to look for a
Exactly.
safe place, nice restaurant to worry about. I can't sit on the
Yeah,
road and do it. So,
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying, right?
Exactly.
Living the best of 2 worlds, having a
This is
family and being a traveler.
interesting. This no, now. I want to come to the third point. Living the third world, which is benching or pressing the bench and everything. I saw some of your posts, man. You are ripped as fuck. I mean,
Alright,
you got
alright.
a really good physique. How is that possible at this age and with this much traveling with family and with work? How are you fucking managing that?
I have to ask you a counter question. What do you mean at this age?
I
I
mean,
didn't
you
tell you
said
my age.
no.
Doesn't mean I'm
I'll
old,
say
man.
yeah. So you said you've been traveling for 24 years, and I did some back calculations and everything.
I could have
So
started traveling at 10, man. What are you talking
no,
about? Or
I'm saying any age like plus 30. Like that. Like I'm
Oh,
28.
so so here so here is the thing, right? Like again, like you said, you took a sabbatical and you
Yeah,
traveled for 3 months. When you
yeah,
travel for 3 months, you're living up to bag. But my travel, like I told you,
yeah,
at a
yeah.
stretch, it's now more than 7 days, right?
Okay.
In those 7 days, since I told you I can
Hmm.
afford it,
Hmm.
I don't stay in hostels or small
Hmm.
hotels. I stay in big hotels which have a gym at
With
least.
like, okay,
So let's
okay.
say if I travel for 7 days, even if I want to travel on a budget and stay in a small hotel, I make sure 1 or 2 days I'm staying in a good hotel, and
Hmm.
then in those 7 days I'm still catching up with the gym 2 days,
Okay, okay.
right?
But
And then
yeah,
when you're traveling, because you go consistently to a gym, for example, let's say you work out
yeah,
regularly,
yeah, yeah,
10 days you're not working out.
yeah,
It's not going to change much because when you
yeah,
come back,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
Muscle
also
memory.
those 10 days, let's say you do 100 push-ups
Hmm, 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 hmm.
in different angles, right? Decline,
Yeah,
incline, and
yeah, yeah,
regular.
yeah, yeah,
100. That's
yeah.
more than enough.
That's more than
That's
enough.
what I realized. And
Yeah,
also, like I told you, right? I had a shoulder injury
yeah,
or
yeah,
some muscle
yeah.
spasm. 6 months I haven't gone to the gym, believe it or not. And this is my chest right now. Six
Damn,
months, no gym.
man.
So I don't know muscle memory or I don't know what it is, or fortunate or whatever. And
But
then I don't really put.
do you follow our strict diet as well while you're traveling, or you go all
I
in
don't. I
trying
don't. I
whatever?
don't drink. I don't drink. You'll be shocked to hear I haven't had a single drop of beer till now.
Like in your life?
Life in a sense, I mean, if I have to count the number of drops, maybe one, not even one can, half a can of beer in my life,
Wow.
right? So I don't drink by choice, not because of religion or whatever, or
Yeah,
not health.
yeah,
It never
yeah,
happened. So I go to parties like crazy. I go to every damn disco everywhere in the world. I have
yeah,
an active nightlife.
yeah.
Still don't drink. Just because you
Well,
go to a
yeah.
club or
Doesn't mean you
some
have to drink.
amazing
Yeah,
bar. That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. So that's the main thing. And I don't eat much. Like you put lots of biryani in front of me, all my friends are like scavenging like crazy, like yummy, yummy. I don't even touch it. I don't have the eating urge.
Not even
The-
Hyderabadi biryani.
no, like in limited, like once, right? But it's
Yeah,
not like
yeah, that's
some
true.
people live for food. For me,
Yeah.
food doesn't fascinate me. That's
Okay.
unfortunately
So
the
while
thing.
you while
So
you're traveling, would you like do you eat local food or are you a little bit what do you
I'm
call it?
actually, my
Careful about
travel
it?
is when I lose my fat. I don't eat much while traveling.
Okay,
So those
okay, okay.
7 days are my cleansing period. Instead of doing
Okay.
like intermittent fasting or 7 days of
Yeah.
fasting,
Right.
when travel, I just have one meal a day, and I take
Yeah.
a lot of protein shakes. I buy the
Oh,
protein
okay.
shakes, which is 1 gram carb. I'll show
Yeah.
you if I have
Yeah.
one.
Isolate.
1 gram carb.
Isolates.
No, it's like ready made.
Okay.
Uh,
Really. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you
Interesting.
open and you shake and drink. Or,
Do
or, or
you do you like? Are you a suitcase guy or you are a backpack guy?
No, no backpack, man. I mean, I
Oh.
told you, I'm not really a backpack traveler. I
Okay.
don't call myself a luxury traveler, but I need everything in its place. I can
Yeah.
travel with one shirt. 7 days, I
Oh.
take 10 shirts. You know, I will because I don't want to wash. I don't have time to change it.
Oh.
Uh, so,
So.
so I do have
Yeah.
one or two suitcases in the bag.
But what's your style of traveling then? Like for me, my style of traveling is like I go see historical places. I just sit in a cafe in the city center, sit there for 2 hours, or
Very, very,
check out
very,
some
very
museum.
similar. Very
Okay.
similar, but I don't have this local experience in the sense people prefer to stay with the family for 3 days, 4 days. I don't have the time for it. So
Okay.
I do a mixture, right? I stay in five-star hotels. I stay in dead cheap hotels. Always a mix,
Yeah.
right? So that's what makes you. I
Yeah.
think that's what makes you humble. I think if you're always low, then you kind of have an inferiority complex. Maybe always. So I don't know. I have a mixture. So today I
Hmm.
can stay at the JW Marriott in Juhu
Hmm.
in a
Yeah.
finest suite because I stayed more than 1,500 nights in Marriott now, 1,500 nights, right? So I'm something called the Lifetime Titanium Elite. So when I book a normal room in any
Yeah.
Marriott in the world, I
Yeah.
get a suite automatically, which is five
Um,
times or 6 times more expensive.
yeah.
So
So yeah, yeah,
I stay in places like that, and next day I can stay on a street side place.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't see any difference, man. So
Are you
that's
one
a
of
high
yeah?
adaptability.
Are you one of those people who are like collecting miles and like careful about what flights to take, what credit cards to take, or what hotels to stay to accumulate
No,
those
no,
miles?
no.
No, I mean you don't
But
care.
only
Or
one thing is I only prefer to fly Star Alliance.
yeah,
Again, I'm a 2 million. I've flown like 2 million miles, flight miles, right? So I get free business class upgrades. 80 to 90% of my travel is by first class, business class. Only because I get these free upgrades, and then you
yeah.
plan. You buy a coach
Wow.
class ticket, or you pay a
Yeah,
little bit, and then you fly. So I prefer to take Star Alliance, which is United, Lufthansa, Swiss,
yeah,
Thai,
yeah.
Singapore.
Air
Much better.
India.
Air India, yeah, Air India, Ethiopian,
Yeah,
Austrian, wide
yeah,
choice. So
yeah,
where I can, even if the
yeah,
ticket is $100 more, I
yeah,
still fly. Like let's say I'm flying somewhere, there's a Lufthansa ticket, and there is
yeah,
a
yeah.
British Airways. Lufthansa is $150 more. I still take Lufthansa.
Interesting,
Okay, so my
interesting. Yeah.
preferred airline. So let's say there's a Hilton hotel, there's a Marriott. Marriott is $100 more. I stay the Marriott.
Oh,
So
okay,
those
okay,
kinds
okay.
of things.
Perfect.
But I don't
So
care where I stay.
you don't have any travel hacks or something. You don't need that. Perfect, interesting. So once you cover these nine more, I think because of this coronavirus shit, it'll be a little delayed now. But once this done, how
But it's
what would
corona.
be?
I don't only have the coronavirus problem. I have some other problem wherein I
Uh,
cannot travel to 4 countries or 5 countries.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't know how I have to do it. I have to quit my job to travel there. I don't know how
Uh,
I'm going to do it, but I'll do it.
so
I
what's the
gave you the
plan
Iran
like?
example.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
gave you the
yeah,
Iran example. I'll go to the Kish Island, and technically I'm done with Iran. But
yeah,
really,
yeah,
am I done
yeah.
with Iran?
No,
No.
no, no.
It's like
No,
going
but
to Port Blair and saying I've been to India. I'm giving an
done
example.
with India, yeah. So, what would I don't know, like, what would be the final celebration like, or what would be that feeling? Any idea, like, how what would be like? You'll say,
I
okay,
don't think it's gonna make any difference at all, to be
no,
honest. Because
yeah,
like for example, I went to 99 and then reached 100. Is there really a difference? No. You've been to 149 and then 150. Is there a difference? No. 174. So at the end of the day, it's a sense of accomplishment. But I
yeah,
already feel that sense of accomplishment now.
yeah,
Because I mean, let's say they're 195. You've been to 194. Are you less accomplished? No, right? So I
yeah,
don't think, but my priority now is
mm,
since I never worked on influencing or marketing or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah, yeah,
I want, because it's not monetary, I don't feel guilty. If I'm driving or if I'm urging you, hey man, please share my profile because I want to make money,
yeah,
you
yeah,
wouldn't do it.
yeah,
So I think once I find the right niche, it
yeah,
should be
yeah,
easy. My name should go viral because how
yeah.
many like a Telugu guy in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, there are 11 crore people. I think nobody has even crossed
No,
that
no,
I know
yeah,
of 100.
completely agree. Completely agree. Yesterday, I was talking to a guy who is hitchhiking from India to South Africa. He's hitchhiking, He's stuck in Azerbaijan. He's from a very small village called Manger in Bihar. And he's just 19 years old. So that's inspiring. So you gotta promote your thing as well. I feel so in today's world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
So.
was thinking, yes, people will come to know magically, Angel Jibril or some Narad Maharshi is going to come and spread the word. It's not going to happen
Yeah.
that way. So that's why I was thinking the other day, like Telugu actors like Bahubali, Prabhas, and Allu
Yeah.
Arjun, a big man. You go to their profiles, they have like 10 million followers.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
fuck, right?
It's
So that's when
crazy.
I started realizing maybe I should do something where a
Exactly.
word needs to go. Don't forget India, just Telugu community, right?
Yeah.
11 crore
Yeah.
people.
Yep.
Enough, man, to be a celebrity.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, but,
In,
but
in,
I'll try.
yeah. What are you looking for? Like, how are you planning to do it? I mean, are you
What I need to work on.
yeah. Are you taking some active steps, or are you just going through the flow?
I haven't.
Or,
I haven't. I have to pursue that. The other challenge is for these things to happen, you need to stay local, on the ground, stay there
yeah.
forever. Like let's say
Yeah.
a TV wants to interview you, you have to be
Yeah.
available.
Exactly.
I have that.
Exactly.
I have that constraint as well, right?
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
work on their time; they have to work on my
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
makes it
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
challenging, but we'll make it
Exactly.
happen, man. I mean, it's gonna one day or so. One day or so.
Perfect. Very interesting. And any advice for Indians, or generally why to travel, how to travel, or what would like to be so many places? What would you advise to your Telugu community, to the Indian community, or to everyone?
Like I've advised before, I think I partly talked about it. First of
Yeah.
all, take the fear off your mind. The
Yeah.
fear need not be about the country. The fear is of yourself too. Fear is like,
Exactly.
okay, if I spend 10,000 rupees right now, what's going to happen to next month? So
Yeah.
these concerns are always there. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, a guy with 100 industries also has the same concern. What if
Exactly.
one factory shuts off? Now, I mean, these
Yeah.
concerns are always there. So you have to
Yeah.
mitigate the concerns and make your
Mm-hmm.
calculations and see,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, being mentally strong. I think
Mm-hmm.
travel or anything that you want to do, take the fear off your mind. That's number
Yeah.
one.
The fear of the mind.
And then
Yeah.
comes something else. You know.
Exactly.
So and then you have to travel. Just because I travel first class or I stay in a Marriott
Yeah.
doesn't mean
No.
you have to
Exactly.
travel the exact same way. You can
Agree.
take a small local bus, spend 5 rupees, then
Exactly.
then buy a ticket for 400 rupees, travel all night. If you really
Yeah.
want to do it, you
Yeah.
can do it.
Exactly.
Right?
Interesting. Interesting.
Like you're talking about the guy from Bihar who's hitchhiking,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
Yeah.
means he's only spending time, not even money.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But he's doing
Yeah.
it.
He went to Russia for
Various.
15 days and spent just 22,000 rupees.
There you go. Right. So it's amazing.
Very
Right? There are
interesting.
so
Yeah.
many ways you can do it.
Exactly.
So
So,
take the
do
fear
you
off.
have those bundle of 10 passport with you right now? Can you show it?
Let me.
Is it
If you can
possible?
wait,
Yeah, yeah,
I'll give
sure,
it.
dude. I'll wait,
Okay, hold
man.
on.
I'll wait.
Hold on.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many mosquitoes here.
Swati, ఒకసారి నా పాస్పోర్ట్ లో నీవా పాస్పోర్ట్ తోడు క్విక్ 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 కాదు ఆల్ పాస్పోర్ట్స్ ఓల్డ్ వన్స్
Ramesh.
ఇంకా ఇక్కడ ఇంకా ఉన్నాయా ఎక్కడ ఉన్నాయి పాతవి లేవా I brought what I could.
Wow. Can you just do it other way around so I can, like, yeah, that way. This is
See?
crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Damn, man. 6. Wow. 7. Interesting, man.
So that's why I'm showing you. Look at my Indian passports, right? So people say, "Oh, you're American, you're traveling." Look at all these stamps.
Wow.
See this?
It's crazy. I think you should make a YouTube video just like this,
So yes,
showing your
look at
passports.
European.
Yeah,
How many European visas? Thailand.
Wow.
See, just look at Thailand in one passport. 1, 2,
Wow.
3. Right?
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow.
Look at this.
I mean,
guy.
I
And then
think you should make a video of this, man. Just showing the visas to everyone in your passports.
I'll show you the best part. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
This is what a true traveler is, right?
Yeah.
So see, Just see when this passport was issued. Look at the issue date of this passport.
I
When
can't
was it
see it.
issued?
You have to tell me. I can see it. Yeah.
Hold on, let me show it to you. Can you see it now?
No, 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 no.
No?
You can
So
tell me. I believe you.
this was issued in 2019, 1st May. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Not
1st
even
May
1 year.
2019.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
1 year, right? So I want to show you
Yeah.
1 year of my stamps. Okay, you see this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the passport is 50-page booklet.
Yeah.
I'm at page 30. 1 year.
You got your US passport like very recently, or you're still traveling on your Indian passport? How's it?
No, I can't have Indian passport. These are old passports.
Okay. No, it's a 1 year
You
back.
can no. This is what I'm showing you is the American passport.
Okay, American passport. Can you show me like once again the whole bundle so I can put it at the caption of this, like the whole bundle from other way around or something?
You want India in the front or America in the front?
Indian in the front, actually.
India in the front. All right, let's do it.
Yeah. Or maybe you can send a photo later on. I can put it later on.
No. I'll just do it. So, photo you can morph. This is live, right? All right.
Interesting.
Okay.
I can't see it. Yeah, just other way around, like the bundle, like this way, like this way. So the back. Yeah, just keep it this way, like on your. Like on your right, on your left side, little behind towards your shoulder, like this. Yeah, like this way. This way, like this way? Like I'm doing it this way.
Okay.
So it gives a good, yeah. Perfect. Thanks, man. I mean, I'm really inspired looking at this, and I'm surely will, because I'm also thinking that I will leave my job or something to do some side thing and then travel. So I will surely be in touch with you. And I'll put it on my social networks.
Anytime, man. If you want to come to the USA, let me know. Yeah. Washington DC is an amazing, beautiful city that we live in. We are proud of. Capital of the United States of America.
But how does you like it now? Yeah, for Corona, is it like getting better or something, or getting worse?
It's pockets, man. Like for example, let's say Dharvi has 4 cases.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean everybody in Andheri West is also worried, right? So it's all pockets, but going by the numbers.
Yeah,
hasn't affected me. You see, we are outside, we are having a nice lawn and all that. It didn't affect me, but people say it's really getting bad because more than 100,000.
Oh,
more than 100. But I'm also thinking, let's look at an ordinary Indian family. You have fever or cough. You think, hey, it's just a fever and cough and go away. Until it gets complicated in India, you don't report.
You don't report.
You just start feeling temperature. People go to the hospital and report. Maybe that's the reason. But I hope, and people are also saying India is like a less effective strain and America is like a
no. See, we are not having enough testing and people are scared. They're not coming out. So that's one reason. Anyways, I will not take it to a negative note now because we had a really good talk. So I was saying that I will upload this on my YouTube, on my social media and everything. And I will really be in touch with you, man. I will be connected with you for my travels.
Thank you so much, man, for taking the time and this podcast.
No, thanks to you.
I honestly had many in Instagram. Many people ask me in London and if they want to do a podcast, and they give me a time like, hey, 2 months later, this time it never happened. So to be honest, this is my first podcast. Though I had offers many times, never happened because of time constraints or something. And this is this happens. So it's really
the good part is right now everybody's at home. Nobody has anything to do. So it is interesting. I can talk anytime. So thanks a lot.
Once again. My charge is over here. Let me take off my Bluetooth.
Yeah, no issues. So I was saying.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. So right now everybody's at home, so I thought I'll start talking to one new person every day and inspired by their stories and inspire others. So thanks a lot for sharing your stories and inspiring us, and especially because we share a lot of things. Like, I mean, you're into fitness, I'm big time into fitness and travel. So I was really connected with you. So I will surely be in touch with you. And thanks. Would you want to tell the people to subscribe to this channel, like this video, or your social media?
Yeah. So I have to say, hey Manan, or what do you want to say?
No, yours one. What's yours?
This thing. All right. So guys, my Instagram name is Soaring Eagle Trots. Soaring is like flying. Soaring, soaring.
Yeah.
Eagle, like the American eagle, the bird.
Yeah.
Soaring Eagle Trots, TROTS. The same
Yeah.
name on YouTube, same name on Facebook page as well.
So guys,
please,
if you have reached to 1 hour of this podcast to the end, please go subscribe to his channel and get inspired and be in touch with him. He's very approachable person, like being at such a feat and replying to everyone was very good. And thanks a lot, Ravi. Have a good day ahead.
And one last thing is, fortunately, my memory is very, very, very good. You ask me about any city, any country I've traveled in the last 20 years. I don't have to look up. I don't have to refer. I'll tell you everything about the country and next.
Perfect.
People ask me on the street side, hey, can you tell me 4 places in Bali? I tell them, yeah, go to Ulundanu Temple, go to Besaki Temple, go to Tanalot, and go to Ulu. So I don't really have to refer or look up the information.
So yeah, I've got a lot of Telugu friends as well, because I was studying in IIM Kozhikode, Kerala. I got a lot of Telugu. So why don't you say something
in Kozhikode, in Calicut?
Yeah, I was there for 2 years for my MBA. So why don't you say something in Telugu to the Telugu friends?
Telugu is Andhra Pradesh. What do I say in Telugu, man?
You're from Vizag, right? Vizag is in Andhra, right?
సో నేను తెలుగు నుండి 186 దేశాలు తిరిగాను. కాకపోతే ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్లో కానీ తెలంగాణలో కానీ ఎవరు నా గురించి వినలేదు. సో అట్లీస్ట్ ఐఎమ్ హోపింగ్ మీకు చెప్దామని, ఒక తెలుగుడిగా 186 దేశాలు తిరిగానని ఒక మెసేజ్ కన్వే చేస్తాను.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, man.
Ravi. Take care.
Have a good time and then keep in touch, man.
Bye. Thank you.